I want to hop into another conspiracy debunk for the channel, this time on climate change, where I feel the conspiracies on this have evolved over time from outright denial to denying the human effects on it to denying its effects on humans. So that's what we'll be debunking in whole today. The notion that humans are not the main driver of climate change and its effects, or that climate change is not a big deal if it does happen, using 3 proofs I feel are inexplicable for deniers, starting with okay, so quickly, radiative forcing is what happens when the amount of energy that enters Earth's atmosphere is different than the amount of energy that is leaving it. If more is entering than is leaving, the atmosphere will warm up, and this is what is happening today. So the question is, how does energy enter Earth's atmosphere, right? Both through natural and human-made causes, which is referred to in this context as anthropogenic. As more greenhouse gases are emitted, more infrared radiation re-enters the Earth's atmosphere, which causes it to warm more through radiative forcing. And if we look at how radiative forcing and what has driven this over time and how it's been measured, we see that anthropogenic greenhouse gas emissions, namely carbon dioxide is the largest, are overwhelmingly the main drivers of this kind of radiative forcing. In fact, without these anthropogenic causes, the Earth would be cooling right now rather than the warming we are experiencing. This is overwhelming proof that we humans are the leading cause of climate change. This section will be the briefest, as I do think this is the least debated part now, but it is still pertinent to the issue, as you do occasionally still hear those who say something like, well, the climate has always been changing. Well, that's just the seasons, or how Trump makes light of getting more beachfront property, and the effects are actually far more dangerous to be just glossed over as some sort of a joke. Let's first just take it on a practical level of how it affects our necessities, food. An 8-year study found that for every degree Celsius the globe increases in temperature, global crop production can provide 120 calories less per person. Estimates range 23% will be lost by 2050, with almost 50% being lost by the end of the century. As the population on the globe continues to grow and famine and starvation are already widespread issues, the problem here is self-evident. We also know that climate change is linked to rising sea levels, increased likelihood of natural disaster, and increased severity of these natural disasters when they happen, and destruction on an individual, species, and ecosystem level, which can also affect food sources down the line, cause costly societal responses, and deaths. It's far more than, well, the seasons are changing or it's getting a little warmer. Avoidable deaths will happen if we don't act. I think this one really drives home the need to combat climate change, as it's personal and why it's something ideal for everyone, despite, the oil lobby's billions of dollars they've invested to convince you otherwise, as climate change affects your health personally, your kids, your loved ones, everybody, right? We have meta-analysis that strongly links climate change to malnutrition, as we just spoke of, its effects on food sources, as well as underweight prevalence among a given population and overall crop waste increasing. Almost 100 studies can strongly link it to infectious disease, mortality, respiratory, cardiovascular, and neurological issues. People die when we allow climate change to happen. That is, as bluntly as it can be put, the environment leads to conditions that will cause more deaths when we allow climate change to happen. And it is happening at an accelerated rate because of human activity. And we can act and curb this. It's not too late. It's not too costly. We can create hundreds of thousands, if not millions of new jobs doing so without harming our GDP, yet we don't. Because the oil lobby stands to profit off of this, and they've invested billions of dollars making this a political issue rather than a scientific one, which is where it should remain. 99.9% of scientific studies find that humans drive climate change. Climate change is a fact among it's scientific consensus among the community. It's not something debated as it is in politics, where money influences opinions. Take that as you will, but people who are saying climate change are fake are probably financially incentivized to do so. And those saying it's not a big deal or a big issue are probably not well read on the topic, and it is the paramount issue of our lifetime.